211 years ago, this colony needed some mechanism to be able to reach all the population, and the government authorized the Sydney Gazette to start publishing. And that was the first Australian newspaper, and that's how the media industry was born. There were 3 guys who were employed at the Sydney Gazette who thought this whole concept of an independent press was really interesting. And so they bought one of these machines, which is, that's called a Columbian press. You can think of it as a really, really early web server. And they brought this machine in with some venture capital that they raised. When it got here, they were ready to launch their startup. And so the Sydney Herald was born. The 3 of them got this paper going, classified ads all over the front page, news buried somewhere in the back. But it was a moderate voice, and so it did get a lot of attention. People liked to read it, and it also got the attention of an investor named John Fairfax. And he came along, took a look at the paper. He's not from Surrey Hills. This is a really old picture. Sorry. So he came along, raised some capital. He bought the business, and the 3 founders had their first successful exit. He renamed it the Sydney Morning Herald. Fast forward 183 years. Not one edition has been missed in 183 years. That's the longest running newspaper in the history of Australia. You'd think, happy days, yeah, awesome, successful business. Only not quite. Along came the big amorphous blob that we call the internet. Started with the whole disruption thing, disintermediation, unbundling, all the terms you hear about or read on Wikipedia. And all of a sudden, we have to reinvent our business. And we're trying to find new ways to be relevant in this new world. We finally get on top of it. One of our librarians convinces our editorial guys putting the news online is a great idea. Back in '96, they already knew cats were going to be big on the internet. And so that was the first homepage. But we did really well. We built a good digital business, started making money out of it. Happy days. Only not quite. Along came mobile. And we're back in the tumble dryer again. All of a sudden, we're competing for attention. There's much more competition. The real estate we used to show ads has started disappearing. And the expectation from the consumer has been raised in terms of what's a good experience. This is what we call disruption. Big and scary, most abused buzzword in the digital industry outright. But really what I want to talk about is change. Now, if you think of the culture you need to support this, and you imagine technology as a train, way back at the beginning, we were leaving the station and each change event was like the telegraph poles going past the window. Fast forward till now, these poles are going past so fast, it's a constant blur. It doesn't stop. And you need to adjust the culture and you need to adjust the way you run your business to deal with that. What we do is when we're recruiting, we really look for people who like change, for people who actually thrive in change as opposed to people who you have to guide and coach through every change event. When you bring these people on, they enjoy the environment as opposed to people who really battle to cope with it and eventually get worn down. Consider for a moment if you worked in e-commerce and your CEO said, we're shutting down sales, we're going to stock that warehouse to the roof. Then we're going to have the mother of all sales. This is going to be awesome. It's going to be brilliant. You'd think he was nuts. You'd tell him that he's got to minimize the time that his capital's locked in the warehouse and ship. And for those reasons, we don't like these pyramid projects. Massive projects that lock up a lot of your resource, take forever to ship, and you only know if it's really going to work when you have the big reveal. In the meantime, all your competitors are getting product to market and competing with you day by day. They're not waiting for you. So we try and make everything we do quicker. And this is the principle of Kaizen, which is about continual improvement. We try and speed up the way we run our teams. We try and improve our processes. We have dashboards where we try and monitor the performance of our products to draw attention to what needs fixing there. One of the biggest problems is bureaucracy. And we try and minimize that as well, because as long as you're asking for permission and not doing, someone else is beating you to the punch, stealing your customers and taking your lunch money. We try and grow a culture of learning, and knowledge is really valuable, but when things change every day, knowledge is valuable at a point in time. It's the ability to learn that is really valuable, and that makes people last for a longer time. These are pictures from an event that we ran recently. We had an Agile conference, and those are guys in the team. It's really important to have fun as well. These people are having fun. This is a LAN party we ran at our office a couple of months ago. We have a social committee, and they're actually here, and they organize a lot of events, and it's really good to build the cohesion in the team. We really try and embrace a lot of the new teams. Old enterprise tools are boring, but they're also slow, and the guys that we want to work with us are the guys who live in the world of Google and Angular and so on. We have developers who probably don't even access the corporate network because everything is in the cloud. Sometimes you do have those sad conversations where there's someone who just can't gel with the change, and you really have two options. Find somewhere that they don't have to deal with the change, or you really have to have a frank conversation and part ways amicably, because you can't bend them into shape if they're just not going to be able to do it. So some parting thoughts: build the culture, make sure that you have a team that uses the right tools, and don't forget to have fun when you're at it. Thank you.